Everybody, I'm Louis from Infinity Films, and this is just a short video to tell you a bit more about story and script writing. The basic question for me always when it comes to story is, what happens? Now, I know this sounds very simple, but it is a question of you have a character which starts at point A, something happens to that character which sets them on a journey, and they end up at point B where they have changed. Throughout this journey, there will be obstacles in the way of this character. These obstacles create the conflict which is central to the story. So, as you can see, asking the question, what happens to the character, naturally generates story. Now, I read somewhere the basis of any story is interesting characters with interesting things happening to them. So you want a story or a film or video or theater or anything, you want something to change from point A to point B. And this helps the character on their journey, and this is what makes us connect, because we are all on a journey, and it is this that one wants to show throughout a story. Story shouldn't just be illustrative. It shouldn't just be a scenario where you show what happens to people, just a little illustration, a little vignette, but you always need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in the middle is the crisis point for the character. This is where everything looks and appears to be at its darkest, but through this, the character will change and will become the person he or she needs to be. Now, this sounds very theoretical, but all you need to think of is, I have this character. What starts this character on their journey? What are the obstacles this character have to overcome? And ultimately, how does the character change in the end? So it is important to start your story with exposition, giving us a lay of the land, showing us what the world is, what are the stakes, what is this journey that the character is going on. Then you have the inciting incident which sets the character on their journey. You build to a climax, and then you have the end where everything is tied together. Now, this is the classic story form. Obviously, there are many ways to work with this, but always ask yourself what changes and what happens. In terms of dialogue, we always think when you're writing the actual script, we always try to be as natural as possible, which is great, but there's a lot of superfluous information in real life. And what you want to do is you want to distill a scene to what is absolutely central to the story. Any scene must either show character or drive the story forward or provide exhibition or provide, I'm going to say that again. Every story needs to either expose character or show character, drive the story forward, or reveal exposition. So you want each scene of a film, the dialogue needs to drive the story forward. So you don't want to say, hi, how are you? I'm well and you, thank you very much. Then you've wasted time. You want to get to the core of the scene. Each character will have an objective in a scene and an obstacle which they need to overcome. And it is by interacting that these two characters ultimately either succeed or fail in obtaining their objective. So when you write a scene, think of starting the scene as late as possible. When is it core to driving the story forward, and getting out of the scene as quickly as possible. Don't let a scene become too long, but rather focus it on why is this scene important in telling the story. So I hope I've given you some thought or food for thought in terms of what story is, but ultimately enjoy it and be creative and create a magical world, and always think of this as something which you want to present to the world, and how are you going to present this to the world, and what do you want to say with this story. Thank you very much, and good luck.